The tariff was meant to hurt India, but it healed India-China relations instead. Trump tried to build walls, but he ended up building bridges for India and China. He wanted America first, but got Asia united. Trump played tough guy, but he ended up playing matchmaker. Yesterday, a historic moment unfolded in China when three of the world's most powerful leaders, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Chinese President Xi Jinping, and Russian President Vladimir Putin, came together for a high-level meeting. The backdrop of this meeting is even more interesting. Donald Trump's decision to impose fresh tariffs on India. Yes, you heard that right. The same Trump who promised to make America great again may have just helped India and China move closer than ever before. Irony couldn't have written this script better. Trump's tariff tantrum is turning out to be the glue that's bringing Asia's giants together. His tariff was not an economic strike, it was a geopolitical gift. The meeting in China was not just another photo opportunity. Modi, Xi Jinping, and Putin were seen holding extensive discussions about trade, technology, and global cooperation. For years, India and China have had their share of differences, from border issues to economic rivalry. But Trump's sudden move to hit Indian exports with tariffs acted like a push that forced both nations to rethink their positions. In short, Trump's tariff brought India and China together. Yes, the same tariffs meant to isolate India from global markets are now doing the exact opposite, strengthening India's global tie. That's called backfiring in style. Trump thought he was punishing India, but he was just empowering Asia. Now let's unpack this. Trump's tariffs were aimed at putting pressure on India, expecting New Delhi to crawl back to Washington with concessions. But what did India do instead? India decided to explore new global opportunities, aligning with China and Russia, reaching out to Europe and looking at Africa and Latin America. Rather than kneeling, and India started networking. Rather than shrinking, India began expanding. Trump's move was supposed to isolate, but it ended up globalizing India's reach. For China, this is a golden opportunity. Xi Jinping knows that a closer partnership with India not only weakens America's position in Asia, but also creates a new axis of power. For years, China has pitched initiatives like the Belt and Road, trying to bring countries into its fold. But with India, it was always complicated. Trust deficit, border clashes, and strategic rivalry kept both nations apart. Yet now, thanks to Trump's tariff shock therapy, the ice seems to be melting. Modi and Xi Jinping sitting together and discussing trade routes, technology exchange, and global supply chain is nothing short of a geopolitical earthquake. And at the center of that quake is one man, Donald Trump, the tariff artist. Putin's presence makes it even more significant. Russia has always been India's trusted defense partner, but in recent years, Moscow has tilted towards Beijing. Now, with the trilateral handshake, Putin is playing the role of a balancer, ensuring that India and China can find common ground. It's like Trump threw a rock and Putin is helping build a monument out of that ripples. A tariff that was supposed to punish India is now giving birth to a new Asian alliance. Trump wanted to divide, but what he's really doing is multiplying the bonds between his biggest rivals. For India, this is not just about reacting to tariffs, it's about seizing an opportunity. The world is changing fast, global supply chains are shifting, new technologies are emerging, and alliances are constantly being tested. By coming closer to China and Russia, India is signaling to the world that it won't be bullied into submission. When Trump says America first, India responds with India everywhere. That's the new global reality. India is no longer just a participant, it's becoming a power broker. Think about the symbolism here. The last time India and China stood together was in the spirit of non-aligned movement decades ago. Since then, they have often been at odds, But Trump's tariff miscalculation has created a fresh chapter. Modi and Xi discussing trade and cooperation in China sends a clear message to Washington: if America shuts its doors, Asia will open new ones. And Putin's smile in the background only adds to the message. America's loss is Asia's gain. Let's be honest, Trump loves being the center of the attention. But this time he is in the center for wrong reasons. His tariffs were supposed to strengthen America's hand, but they have weakened its influence. His tough talk was supposed to intimidate, but it has inspired unity. In short, Trump tariffs didn't just bring India and China together, it gave birth to a new geopolitical story where Asia is writing its own script. The punchline writes itself: Trump played poker with tariffs, but India and China just cashed the jackpot. Of course, this doesn't mean India and China will suddenly forget all their issues. There are still deep disagreements and mistrust, but politics is about timing, and Trump just gave the perfect timing for dialogue. Instead of confrontation, we now see cooperation. Instead of isolation, we now see integration. The leaders in China may not have thanked Trump openly, but deep down they know he has unintentionally done them a favor. Trump may call himself a deal maker, but the only deal he made here is the one that united his rivals. In the coming months, we could see new trade agreements, joint technology projects, and stronger diplomatic ties emerging from trilateral movement. And every time it happens, the echo will remind us of one thing: Trump's tariff brought India and China together. Sometimes history is shaped not by careful planning, but by accidental decisions. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is one of those times. Trump's tariff was meant to be a punishment, but it has now turned into a partnership. The irony is rich, the consequences are historic, and the message is loud. America's tariff may end up costing America the most. What do you think about this entire episode? Please tell me in the comment section. Bye bye. Take care.